back, guys.
And there's also the fact that at that time there was already electricity on the steamships, and we wanted the immigrants to be treated the same way on the ships and on the island. So this is why we put electricity to make sure that we had the same conditions. So it was produced with a steam machine, and we had two dynamos, so one in 1902 and one in 1914. So we produced the steam in the other room. We had burners, and they worked with coal. Most of the coal came from Nova Scotia, and then we were able to heat the water for the showers and produce steam to make the steam machine work. So the electrician had a very special job. In fact, he was the only employee allowed to live in the western part of the island. So I don't know if you remember, but there was a small yellow house when we went to the cemetery. And this was the house of the electrician, so there was a fence all around his house to make sure that his children could play outside without being in contact with potentially sick immigrants.
Oh.
And there was also a bathroom there to make sure that the electrician could go to the bathroom without leaving his job. And there was also one electrician who died while working here. In fact, one night it was raining outside and some rain entered the building. The electrician came here to see if everything was okay. He put his hand here and then he died this way.
Wow.
So if you want to come with me, I'm going to show you the boilers.
See the washroom? Such an old building, this one. It's incredible. Oh yeah.
So remember when they use these types of boilers? So there is a scene in which you see them putting coal. So it's the exact same thing. So people put coal in this door there, and after that the boiler is here. So this is the inside of this. So what you see there is the inside.
Oh, so that's what it is, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in fact, after that, the water that was in this would heat, and this would produce steam for the steam machine and hot water for the showers. So we used the water from the Central River. So this was to keep the water, and to after that, with the pipes, bring them to the other machines. And this is the coal that came from Nova Scotia. Most of the coal that you see there is original coal.
Wow.
So you can take some time to look at it, go closer.
So the original coals. Look at these machines. Beautiful.
So now we are going to the medical inspection.
Cool. The medical inspection?
Yes.
No? Okay. Wow. New area. All immigrant baggage must be disinfected.
Hi, Miss Wade.
Wonderful. Hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good.
That's what we'll see. I'm Miss Murray, nurse here at the station. My job is to inspect every boat going to Quebec City as well as every immigrant on board. You. So we'll proceed today to a short medical inspection. Before we start, I must warn you that no exemption will be possible, whether you are third, second, or even first class. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you will be kept under observation for a period from 5 to 21 days to make sure you're not developing any symptoms of contagious diseases such as typhus, cholera, smallpox, and diphtheria. It's really important to stop these illnesses before they reach Quebec City. That is particularly true for smallpox, which is one of the most contagious diseases known to mankind. And as such, the vaccine is now mandatory for every Canadian as well as every immigrant. If you have received the vaccine, you should find a small scar on your left shoulder. If you do not have this scar, we'll ask you to go to the vaccination office right after your disinfection. That's good?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. We'll start with the first test. We'll check the color of your tongue. If it's white, it's a sign of dehydration that can be linked to cholera. And if it's black, it's unfortunately probably typhus. Would you like to assist me?
Yes.
Inspection. Wonderful. So please, stick out your tongues. Wonderful. Everything's good on your side?
Yes.
Excellent. Now I'll ask you to feel the side of your neck and the back of your ears to make sure you don't have any swollen or painful nodes. It's really important to tell us of any anomalies. We had a patient a couple of days ago who did not tell us anything, and well, I'll spare you the details, but it wasn't pretty at the end of the day. So nobody's crying out of pain, so I guess everything's good. Excellent. We'll now check your blood circulation. I'll ask you to pinch your fingernail like this. Under the pressure, your nail should turn white. When we'll pass in front of you, I'll ask you to release the pressure and your nail should regain its natural color. That's a sign of good blood circulation.
Oh, Miss Mary. They kept their nail polish.
Oh, a first class lady, I see.
3 first class ladies.
3 first
There you go.
class ladies. My goodness. Well, for the next
Yeah, eh?
inspection, I'll ask you to remove it. For now, it's fine. Please pinch your fingernail like this. Can you release? Excellent.
Yeah, it does go pink pretty fast.
Wonderful. So I'll now check if you don't have a membrane at the back of your throat. Such a membrane is a sign of a disease called diphtheria, and if it continues to develop, it could keep you from breathing entirely, which would not be fun for you. So please open your mouth and say, ah. A bit wider, please. Excellent.
Oh, I think when I see
Wonderful.
something.
Yes, I do see something upper left corner. You have a good eye.
Thank you.
Impressive.
I have to.
I see. Well, it's a benign case, don't worry, but you will still have to be transferred to the hospital sector. Mr. Masson or Carter will come and pick you up as soon as possible. Do you have any friends or family traveling with you?
We're it.
Yup, you were it.
Excellent. Well, if you want to accompany Madam to the hospital sector, it is possible. There's a house for friends and family of the sick people. But you have to know that at no time you will be permitted back into the hotel sector. You have to do your whole quarantine with sick people.
Oh.
So what do you choose?
Bye, Betty.
I see,
Send us
I
a letter.
see.
Send us a letter. Hey.
I'll stay with Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll all stay.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Were you finished on that time? Did you?
No, I was not. Perfect. No other case.
Excellent. So we'll cut this medical inspection short to take care of Madam. I thank you for your collaboration. Thank you for your help too. Before you go to your disinfecting shower, I must warn you that at no time you are permitted off this island without my personal permission. Is that clear? Yes. Excellent. So, welcome to Canada, and I wish you a good quarantine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well.
What would your shower like? If you have time.
Of course, I do. You can come closer and I'll speak to you how your clothes will be disinfected. So I know the boat ride can be a bit confusing, so I just like to make sure everything's good. What year are we in right now?
1847?
Oh, my goodness.
You doing good?
We are in 1913 right now. It's coming back slowly. That's normal. Confusion is absolutely normal. So usually the medical inspection would be done directly on the boat. A doctor will come up to the captain and ask a couple of questions. For example, where did the boat stop? Are there any sick people already on the boat? Was a quarantine established already? If there's a sick person, for example, in second class, that person will be taken directly to the hospital sector, while the rest of the class disembarks on the western wharf right here. For first and third class, if there's nobody sick, they can continue to Quebec City since there's no contact between the classes. For the immigrants disembarking on the western wharf, they'll be given a bag just like this one with a number on it, as well as a token with this same number. That's to make sure they don't lose any clothing or personal belongings. So they would put all of their clothes inside this bag, except of course the clothes they are currently wearing. We won't ask you to get naked on the wharf. Don't worry. So the bags will be put inside the cages you have right behind you. The cages are put on the chariots, and the chariots are pushed inside the steam chambers. Each chamber can fit 2 of the chariots. We close the door, remove the air from inside, and inject dry steam at a temperature of 115 degrees Celsius or 239 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, that's pretty hot, so there are some things we will not put into the steam chambers, such as leather, fur, jewelry, or any fragile item. There's also another thing we don't put into the steam chamber, something really important. Do you have an idea what that might be?
Documents.
Bacteria does not survive well on paper, actually, so it does not have to be disinfected.
Oh.
We won't put you into the steam chamber.
Right.
That's a bit too hot, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll ask you to take a disinfecting shower instead, which I think you will go and do right now. Unless you have any question first?
Oh, no. Good.
Excellent. So then we'll shower.
Thank you for your
What did
time.
they do with the furs?
I'm sorry?
What did they do with items that come on there, like fur?
They would be disinfected by hand with a solution of mercury bichloride.
So thank you, Ms. Kirby.
You're very welcome.
Cool. Ooh. So we get some old signs here, guys.
shower. So the first part was to undress. People put their clothes in a bag, and it was the same number as on the shower. So for instance, if I had shower number 20, then I would have bag number 20. So it was the same number, so it was easier to recognize this way. And after that, when people got undressed, they got in the second part of the shower, and they closed the door behind them. And once they were here, then the solution would start to come out from here and here, from the top and each side of them, to make sure that they could not hide from the shower. Since immigrants were not used to taking showers, it was important to make sure that they could not hide or that they could not control the shower. So they did not control the shower. In fact, it was an automatic system. And someone pushed on a button, one of the employees, and after that, the shower would start working. So the disinfecting agent was directly in the water, so we used mercury bichloride. So 1 part of mercury bichloride for 1,000 parts of water, so it was not dangerous for their health. And they only took this shower once, so it was not dangerous. It was only to make sure that they were disinfected. So they did not have soap, so everything was in the water. And they would stay here during 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, they would go in the other waiting rooms that were in the disinfected part of the building. We think that they were given robes or, in fact, towels. But then again, we do not have any proof of that, but it would have been common sense to give them something to dress. And then again, we had this to make sure that people could not look in the shower next to theirs.
Oh.
So it was to keep their intimacy, and the windows behind were white to make sure that people could not see what was happening inside the building. Questions?
No?
Perfect.
Well, there's some shower in here, Betty. So that's your shower.
So if people had lice, we gave them this solution, and we also gave them a brush. Then they would, in fact, put it everywhere. They would have hair, so on their arms, hair on the head, and everything to make sure that they did not have lice anymore. So it was mostly used in cases of typhus.
What did they use for lice?
No, it was infection without stop soap, and also Vaseline. In fact, some other components were like that. And there were 2 or
Okay.
So on Grosse Île, we treated different diseases, in fact contagious diseases. So the first one that we treated was cholera. In fact, it is the disease for which we opened the quarantine station in the first place. There was a cholera epidemic in England, so we had to open the quarantine station to prevent its arrival. So cholera is a disease in which people vomit, they have diarrhea, and most of the time they get dehydrated. It still exists nowadays. But nowadays there are vaccines and other treatments that people can have, so there are less people dying from it than there were before. We also treated the Spanish influenza, but less than other diseases, because most people who had this disease arrived by train, and there was no quarantine for the train, it was only for the ships. And typhus, we talked about it at the cemetery, and smallpox. There were also other diseases such as diphtheria, for instance, but these are the diseases that we treated the most. So in fact, this was the last activity of our day. So do you have questions before the end of the visit, things that you... Perfect. So in fact, you still have some time before the ship leaves.
Okay.
So it leaves at 5:30, so you have to be on the ship before 5:30. in fact some minutes before that. So if there are some things that you want to buy at the gift shop, it's still open, you still have time to go there. It's in the third class hotel, the white building that you saw. And also if you want to take some time to read the information here, there are 3 rooms, 1 here and 2 on the other sides. And there are stairs there, so if you want to go downstairs you can. So you can use your free time as you like, as long as you're on the ship when it leaves, or else you will have to swim to go back to Bertie.
Okay.
No swimming.
The second class is next to the river, but it's not restored yet.
Oh,
so
the
this,
white one.
yeah, no, it's great.
C'est juste, il y a lui, il y a première classe, and then it's here, on the water.
And next to the river.
Got it, okay.
So thank you for your visit.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Cool, thank you.
Merci
It's
beaucoup.
very interesting,
Thank you.
and I learned a lot. I appreciate
Finish
it.
up
Thank
here
you.
and we're
And
gonna go
understood
to the
everything
gift shop
about
to
the
get my
English.
stuff.
Okay.
J'ai compris très bien ton anglais, il est super.
Ah, merci, je suis contente d'avoir
But it's very good.
Thank you.
I don't, you're very knowledgeable.
Thank you, thank you.
So the stairs are this way.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
So Brad, when you're done, come through this doorway that's to your right.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Diseases, the invisible, and the enemy. All enemies, contagious disease is the most fearsome, invisible and insidious. It ravages the provinces, it infiltrates, emptying them of their population, and sowing horror, desolation, and death. But there is a way of preventing this evil, of warding it off, and even of making it disappear when it is close at hand, which is to exercise the precautions that God has recommended to man's sense of prudence. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I'm coming.
I don't want to spend
Okay. Well, we never checked out these rooms yet.
I think you like this here.
Huh?
It's showing the entire island.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we never even got to see these parts yet. Typhus is basically that cell that's in the back.
side of the room you have beds. These beds were found at Grosse Île. They are the original ones. And these are reproductions. So if you want to try them, see what it was like, take pictures with them, you can. And these are things that we borrowed from Le Monastère des Augustines, which is in Quebec City. They are treatments that could have been used on Grosse Île, but they were not found on Grosse Île.
So basically this is going back in time to,
Yes.
this is what this would have looked
So
like
on
here.
the other side, it was 1847. The room represented what it was like in 1847, and this side is 1904.
So is that just red paint? Is that all that is?
Yes, at that time there was red paint for the.
For the windows. Wow.
So you can take some time to walk around the building, take some pictures.
Wow, this is incredible.
If you have questions, I remain available, and I'll tell you when it will be time to go back to the building.
So you guys, we're going back in time.
Well, look at this photo because it won't come out. It'll only come out in red. Cool, eh?
That's cool.
You can sit on the beds if you want.
Here,
Oh, sit in one of the
Get
beds
on
for a
my-
picture?
get on the bed.
You just film
No, empathy is one of the most important things in our work. You can try this one. Stay, just watch it.
Looks like a very uncomfortable bed.
Yeah, these were different back then.
Yeah. I gotta try out this bed too.
Can you get me? Laying in the bed. I don't want to. Okay, I'll just put it there.
You have
And
smallpox.
don't worry, all have been disinfected.
That's one thing I'd never want to take home to my mother. Guess what I got for you in Quebec, Mom? Smallpox.
Yeah. That was cool.
Very firm.
It's neat how while we were walking through the building, it's like getting newer and newer. So is this just dampen a cloth or something, or wash the patients?
This is for the sponges of water.
Yeah?
So we disinfect people with carbolic acid soap,
Okay.
and we can control the fever also.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it's sort of like a medical thing too.
Yes, it's for washing and also controlling fever. And
Cool.
those
So weird seeing red through the windows. Very different, eh? Yep. So showcasing some medicine. So there's some poison.
Oh yeah, I got a picture of that for you. I got the stuff in the front. Get your
Yep,
camera
sorry.
away.
I like these with the little medical symbol on them. And there's your soap that the lady was talking about right there.
Look at that.
Yeah. It's cool, eh? There's the lights there. Oh, they went outside, Betty.
Look at this stuff.
Did you get photos of all this stuff?
Look at it. That's what you would look like.
So this is what the disease looked like. You can see the lady.
Like you're just absolutely covered.
And they were literally, there was no cure for it.
It's
A
horrible.
lot of people died from this.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Hmm.
Alright,
All right, let's go. So there you go, guys. So that was the smallpox hospital, and that was the worst disease on this island, mainly here because of the infectious diseases hospital. So here is the smallpox hospital. Well, yeah, if you got sick and it was something like of this origin, you probably wouldn't make it. Yeah. Hey guys, cemetery. All right. Look, there's graves back there. Yeah, they're made of pipes. That's creepy, eh? Yeah. So these are graves, guys.